Do you consume ginger regularly? Have you ever wondered if it might not always be beneficial for everyone? From spicy dishes to comforting teas, ginger is a common ingredient that is celebrated for its flavor and health benefits. Associated with easing digestion and fighting colds, this versatile root is a staple in many households. But what if it's not the golden ticket to health for everyone? In this video, we will discuss specific health conditions where consumption of ginger might not be a good idea. First on our list is blood disorders. Ginger, a common ingredient in many kitchens worldwide, is well known for its health benefits. However, it's important to note that it may not be beneficial for everyone, especially those with certain health conditions. One such condition we're exploring today is blood disorders. Ginger has a little-known property. It's a natural blood thinner. Means that it can prevent blood from clotting as it normally would. Now this might sound like a good thing, especially for those who are at risk of developing blood clots. For individuals with blood disorders, this can pose a significant risk. Blood disorders, such as hemophilia, are conditions where the blood's ability to clot is impaired. An individual with hemophilia gets a cut or a bruise. Their blood does not clot as readily as it should, leading to excessive bleeding. Imagine if such an individual consumes ginger, a natural blood thinner. The ginger could potentially exacerbate the condition, leading to even less clotting and more bleeding. But that's not all. Can also interfere with medications prescribed for blood disorders. Anticoagulants, commonly known as blood thinners, are often prescribed for individuals with blood disorders to prevent clots. Ginger's blood-thinning properties can amplify the effects of these medications, leading to an increased risk of bleeding. Imagine a scenario where you're trying to balance on a seesaw. On one side, you have the blood's natural tendency to clot, and on the other, you have the blood thinners prescribed by your doctor. Finally achieved a delicate balance where you're not at risk of excessive clotting or bleeding. But then, if you consume ginger, it's like adding extra weight to the blood thinner side of the seesaw, disrupting the balance and putting you at risk. So, all things considered, ginger's blood-thinning properties can be a double-edged sword. While they can be beneficial for some, they can pose significant risks for others, particularly those with blood disorders. If you have a blood disorder, it's best to avoid ginger, especially if you're on medication. Next up, we have diabetes. Now, diabetes is a complex condition where the body either does not produce enough insulin or cannot properly use the insulin it does produce. This results in high levels of sugar in the blood, which can lead to serious health issues. Now, you may be wondering, where does ginger come into play here? Well, it's quite fascinating. You see, ginger is known to have properties that can lower blood sugar levels. It does this by increasing insulin release and sensitivity, which helps transport sugar from the bloodstream into your cells. Like a great thing for diabetics, right? Well, not so fast. While this can be beneficial for some, it can also lead to complications for others, especially those on medication for diabetes. Me explain. Many diabetes medications are specifically designed to lower blood sugar levels. So if you're taking these medications and also consuming ginger, it can cause your blood sugar to drop too low. This condition, known as hypoglycemia, can cause symptoms like dizziness, sweating, and even loss of consciousness. Think of it like this. Your medication is a finely tuned machine, designed to keep your blood sugar levels in check. Adding ginger to the mix is like throwing a wrench into the gears. It can disrupt the delicate balance that your medication is working to maintain. And it's not just the immediate effects you need to worry about. Over time, repeated episodes of hypoglycemia can lead to serious health complications, including heart disease and nerve damage. Now, don't get me wrong, ginger is not all bad for diabetics. In moderation and with proper medical guidance, it can be a beneficial part of a diabetic diet. But it's crucial to remember that everyone's body responds differently to foods and medications. That's why, if you're diabetic, it's advisable to consult your doctor before including ginger in your diet. They can help you determine the right balance for your specific needs and ensure that you're using ginger in a way that benefits your health rather than harms it. Hence, if you are diabetic, it's advisable to consult your doctor before including ginger in your diet. Gallstones are another condition where ginger might not be your friend. Now, gallstones are tiny hard deposits that form in the gallbladder, a small organ under the liver. These stones can range in size from as small as a grain of sand to as large as a golf ball. Not a pleasant picture, is it? Let's talk about how ginger interacts with gallstones. Ginger is a potent herb with numerous health benefits. It's known for its anti-inflammatory properties and its ability to aid digestion. However, it's this very digestive aid that could pose a problem for those with gallstones. You see, ginger can stimulate the production of bile. Bile is a liquid produced by the liver that aids in the digestion of fats. Normally this is a good thing, but when you have gallstones, an increase in bile production can lead to complications. Why? Well, gallstones are often made up of cholesterol. When bile, which contains cholesterol, is overproduced, it can lead to an increase in the size and number of gallstones. This can cause pain and discomfort, and in severe cases, it may even require surgery. Excessive bile production can cause the gallbladder to contract more forcefully. This contraction can cause gallstones to be pushed into the bile duct, leading to a gallstone attack. And trust me, a gallstone attack is not something you want to experience. It can cause severe pain, and in some cases, can even be life-threatening. So while ginger's ability to aid digestion and stimulate bile production can be beneficial for many, it's not so great for those with gallstones. In fact, it can actually make the condition worse. It's important to note that everyone's body reacts differently to foods and herbs. What works for one person might not work for another. If you're dealing with gallstones, consult with a healthcare provider before making any drastic changes to your diet, including the addition or subtraction of ginger. So, if you have gallstones, you might want to reconsider your ginger intake. Pregnancy is a time of many dietary adjustments, and one of them might be avoiding ginger. This pungent, spicy root has long been used in traditional medicine for its powerful anti-inflammatory and antioxidant effects. But when it comes to pregnancy, the situation is a bit more complex. By nature, it is a stimulant. It increases circulation, which can be beneficial in many circumstances, but during pregnancy, this can potentially lead to complications. In particular, the increased blood flow can potentially stimulate menstrual flow, which is obviously not something you want during pregnancy. Furthermore, ginger is known to interfere with the absorption of dietary iron and fat-soluble vitamins, both of which are crucial for a healthy pregnancy. Iron is needed for the production of hemoglobin, the protein in red blood cells that carries oxygen to other cells. A deficiency can lead to anemia, which can cause fatigue and increase the risk of complications during delivery. Fat-soluble vitamins, on the other hand, are essential for the growth and development of the baby. Also, the concern that ginger might affect hormonal levels. Although research on this is limited, some studies suggest that ginger might interfere with sex hormones. This could potentially affect the development of the fetus and even increase the risk of miscarriage. It's important to note that most of these potential risks are associated with high doses of ginger. Small amounts, such as those used in cooking, are generally considered safe. But as with any dietary supplement or medicinal herb, it's always best to err on the side of caution. In conclusion, while ginger has many health benefits, it might not be the best choice for everyone, especially pregnant women. Its stimulating effects and potential interaction with hormones could potentially lead to complications. Moreover, its interference with nutrient absorption could deprive both the mother and the baby of essential nutrients. Therefore, pregnant women should always consult their healthcare provider before consuming ginger. Last but not least, heart conditions. Now, we all know that ginger is a superfood packed with benefits, but for people with certain heart conditions, it might not be the hero they need. In all its glory, can interfere with heart medications. It's like that well-meaning friend who means no harm but ends up causing a lot of confusion. You see, ginger can affect blood clotting. This might not be a problem for most of us, but for those on blood-thinning medications, it's a different story. The ginger and the medication might not get along too well, leading to an increased risk of bleeding. Now let's talk about another group of heart patients, the ones with bleeding disorders. For them, ginger is like an unwelcome guest. It can increase the risk of bleeding, which is the last thing someone with a bleeding disorder needs. And let's not forget those with heart rhythm disorders. The potent compounds in ginger might interfere with the rhythm of their heartbeats. It's like trying to dance to two different beats at the same time. It just doesn't work. So it's not that ginger is bad, it's just that, like with all things, it's not for everyone. If you have a heart condition, always consult with your doctor before consuming ginger. In summary, while ginger has many health benefits, it's not for everyone. We've delved into a number of health conditions that may not work well with ginger. People with blood disorders, for example, may face complications due to ginger's ability to thin blood. Also explored the potential risks for individuals with diabetes, as ginger can interfere with blood sugar control. For those with gallstones, ginger's stimulation of bile production could potentially exacerbate the condition. Individuals, too, may want to exercise caution. While ginger is often recommended for morning sickness, it's important to consider the potential risks and consult with a healthcare provider. And lastly, we discussed heart conditions. Even though ginger can support cardiovascular health in some ways, it can also interact with certain medications and potentially cause complications. Remember, this video is not a substitute for professional medical advice. Always consult with your healthcare provider before making any significant changes to your diet, including adding ginger.